that sink is a mess. Okay, this needs to go in the trash there. Let's start getting our peptides and everything we need injected. So it's getting gross. Whew. God, it's early. 6 a.m. You guys kind of updated on what happened. I had, of course, started my cycle, my growth hormone, my insulin. I had stopped about a week into it because my estrogen levels had went skyrocket out of control. I guess I wasn't ready for the cycle to start it, and I had put on about 25 bad pounds of weight in a week's time, which you can ask, how the hell is that possible? You turn into a balloon. I pretty much did. My body fat had increased by probably about 5-6% due to the water increase that I had. So I cycled off everything. I'm kind of ashamed to take progress now as to how I look, but we're gonna start now with chest. We're still doing the insulin protocol, but in a way that I can lean out on it, which I will dive into later. See if we could find some parking. Probably be real easy this early. I guess I'll snag that spot up there. Guys, it's 5:50 in the morning. Let's get this in. We've got chest and we got shoulders. We're going to start on the dumbbell incline as usual that I like. After that, we're going to rotate to a dumbbell bench, a banded Hammersmith press. Then we're going to hit a incline Hammersmith press. So we're going to actually rotate middle to upper versus going upper to middle. A T-bar row press, and then we're going to move to a Smith machine close grip press, superset with crossovers, and then sled pushes. And then we'll taper onto the shoulder. So there's the workout plan. Get your pre-workout in, whatever it is that you take. If it's what I take, then awesome. If it's what you're going to take, then whatever, man. But let's get this in. I'm excited. I'm out for blood, so let's get it. Let's get over to our dumbbells, kids. 105 pounds today. 100 pounds at least. Alright guys, to start this chest and tricep workout, we are starting here on a dumbbell incline. I'm warming up with two 70-pound dumbbells for about 15 to 20 repetitions. I did not take this to failure. I left a little bit of energy in the tank. I recommend you guys do as well. After that warm-up set was complete, I did perform a few rotator cuff exercises. Here I am holding 105-pound dumbbells per hand. I did have a little bit of an issue after the third rep due to the positioning of my arms. I was only able to knock out about 6 or 7 repetitions, whereas I probably could have gotten 8 or 9. So I'll probably go lower next time. Pick a weight that you can perform for about 6 to 8 reps, then drop it and perform another 3 to 4 repetitions with a weight reducing by about 20%. So here I'm at 90 pounds, performing only 3 to 4 reps. Once that was complete, reduce about another 40% of the weight. So I moved down to about 65 pounds per hand here as shown. And I'm performing about another 10 to 15 repetitions. This was done in a triple drop set. So I started with the 105, moved down to 95, then moved down to 65. Therefore reducing about 10% and then 30 to 35% of the weight. But go with how you feel. If you feel you need to go lower or heavier, adjust as shown. At the end of the set, I performed about 5 to 6 pause reps. So we'll be doing 8 to 10 full repetitions, 5 to 6 pause reps, or half reps. After performing the dumbbell incline for a double drop set, moved on now to a dumbbell bench. Here I am holding just 80 pounds due to the pre-fatigue that I had at the dumbbell incline. Performed for about 6 to 8 repetitions. Once that set was complete, we drop set and pick up about another 60-pound dumbbell or 55 and perform another 6 to 8 repetitions to failure. The amount of rest that is given in between this is the amount of time it takes you to unrack the dumbbells and sit back down on the bench.
Moving on to our next set here. Again, the 80-pound dumbbells performed for about 6 to 8 repetitions. I then reduced about 30% of the weight, went down to about 60 to 55 pounds, however I was feeling that day, and performed another 6 to 8 repetitions. So total in this drop set, we're performing about 12 to 16 reps, however you can get. The targeted rep range that I wanted to reach was about 15. Once this was done, to get a little bit of extra blood in a pump, I performed incline push-ups. Now moving on to our next exercise. This is a banded Hammersmith press. Here I have a 45 and a 35 on each end with the bands, making this 50 pounds extra resistance at the lockout. This makes this exercise a lot harder and provides more time under tension on the muscle, as you guys have known. This is something that I like using in my trainer and various different exercises to break plateaus and something new, change and switch things up. Perform about 8 to 10 repetitions with a given weight, reduce about 35% of the weight, perform another 8 to 10 reps. So I started off with the 35 and 45 pound plates on, stripped off the 35s, and performed another 6 to 8 repetitions to failure. Rest approximately 2 minutes. Now we're going to hit a heavier set of about 6 repetitions. I put on 2 45s, stripped off the 45 after my 6 reps were complete, and performed another 8 to 10 repetitions on the next following set that will be shown here. Rest about 30 seconds after unracking the weight and perform the targeted reps, which again is 8 to 10. Once that is done, or if you cannot complete your targeted reps like I couldn't here, perform rest pause, unrack the weight, rest for 5 to 10 seconds, and perform another 2 to 3 repetitions to failure. Keep the tempo nice and tight, engage the core, and squeeze the chest. Next exercise shown is a machine incline press. We rotated on the dumbbell incline. From the beginning of the workout, we went to a dumbbell bench. So we did upper, then middle. Then we moved back down to middle, then upper. So perform about a weight. Pick a weight that you can perform about 8 to 10 repetitions. I'm not going too heavy here, but the variation that I like about this machine is you can change your grip. You can go wide, you can go close. Once that exercise was complete, 2 sets was done, we moved on to a landmine press. Being that this gym doesn't have a spot where we can rack a barbell and get full range of motion, this is actually done on the T-bar row machine. Perform about 10 to 15 repetitions. Place a pad under your knees if necessary to avoid scraping the floor. Perform about 10 to 15 repetitions with a given weight. Reduce about 50% of the weight and perform another 10 to 15 repetitions that will be shown here. I had about a 45, a 25, and a 10. I stripped off the 10 and the 45, back down to the 25, and performed another 15 to 20 repetitions. So the total amount of reps that we did for this exercise per every set was about 30 to 40. I like going light on this exercise due to the positioning of it. I don't want to foresee any injury due to the posture that this aligns my body in. So pick a weight that's good for you and be sure to breathe in and out through each and every rep, as this places the core in a very uneven posture. Perform 3 sets of this landmine press. Next exercise we moved on to was a Smith machine close grip press. You grab the handle that's normally used for the seated row, a V-bar handle, perform about 8 to 10 repetitions. With this exercise, you're going to have to switch your body movement due to the positioning of the Smith machine bar. Once it's unracked, you can't hold the seated row handle, the V-bar row, straight. So one pec is isolated more than the other, leading to a crossover. So be sure to switch angles and switch positioning when doing this exercise. After that, we performed our cardio portion of the workout in the middle, a sled push, superset with a crossover. I'm going pretty light on the crossovers just for a stretch. This allows the shoulder girdle as well as my upper and middle chest to get completely stretched out due to the impact that we're getting on this sled push. I warmed up with 3 plates aside, went back and forth for about 2 rounds to get the heart rate pumping, get the shoulders warmed up and the chest warmed up. We then increased in weight to about 4 plates. Once that was complete, I had added another plate, making this 5, performed about another 2 to 3 rounds back and forth, then stripped back down. If you had previously followed my lower back day done 2 days prior, shoulders were trained that day. So now we are moving on to triceps. First exercise was a tricep push down. Here I had about 50% of the rack done, being that I don't want to go too heavy on triceps due to elbow injuries. Performed about 3 sets of push down for 10 repetitions and 3 sets of overhead extension done unilaterally. Unilaterally means with one arm only, one side of the body. This is a specific isolation exercise for the triceps. You can do these with a dumbbell or even with a cable. This was then superset with a kettlebell swing. Here I'm holding about a 60-pound kettlebell, swinging it with one arm, catching it with the other arm, and rotating back and forth, up and down. This is not required in this trainer, but being it had a punching bag there, felt like throwing a few kicks. I used to practice fighting in my younger days here, so my balance is kind of off, but I'm just doing this merely to get good form, good check, and just to play around, have a little fun, make the workouts fun. Once that was complete, performed 2 sets of rope battles, about 30 seconds each. This is a form of high interval training, being that we are not going on any treadmills or any steady state cardio for the remainder of this trainer. We're doing high intensity intervals, whereas in the beginning we did slow steady state. 2 cups of L-carnitine post-workout. Let's eat this quick, guys. Normally I don't do this, but this is not the best scenario for a workout. So anyway, I gotta get to work. It did go pretty well. We tapered off by finishing with triceps, being that I did shoulders at the lower back day. So I'm gonna rest to recover. I got to train a client later today, and as far as evening cardio, I have to go how I feel, especially with this indigestion. Seen in a lot of these training segments and programs that I post for you guys, I use the rest pause method, and I apply that almost to every exercise that I do, as well as a drop set or superset. There are a variety of ways and combos that you can do this. One method that I like to choose that's very, very simple is pick a weight that you can do maybe for 10 to 12 repetitions, a heavy weight. Perform only 6. Put the weight down, let's say on a rack or a bench, rest 10 to 15 seconds and bang out another 3 to 4 reps. Don't hit failure. Then put the weight down for another 10 to 15 reps, do another 3 to 4 repetitions. This way, instead of completing that set with that heavy given weight for 10 to 12 reps and resting, you're completing 15, 18, 20 reps, however many you complete in this rest pause segment. Therefore, more volume. More volume. The way to do it is perform a partial rep, half rep, or do 3/4 depth length in a repetition, like for example a barbell curl. If you've heard of the 7-7-7 method, 7 full, 7 half, and 7 partial on the way up, this is a great way to stimulate the muscle in a different angle and provide more time under tension, as well as oxidative stress.